All right, everybody get ready and stretch out those face muscles. Get your tongue moving and your teeth, right? Because we're going to smile more and we're going to do um, pronunciation exercises, right? And we're going to be thinking about phonics in the sense of music. All right, so what do I mean by this? This pronunciation is music. So let's talk about our phonics, right? As heads of a drum. So a drum has many things that you can tap on. Many things to tap on. Each one has a different sound. Kind of like what our mouth does when we do phonics, right? So imagine the heads of the drum. So ba, 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 k. Okay, so the rhythm we're going to be using is the clave rhythm, right? I'll tell you a little bit more later about it, but it's a very popular rhythm, right? And so, thinking of your mouth as a drum set, what does that mean? Uh, well, each drum is an instrument. Each drum makes a sound, right? And the sounds we are going to talk about is sorry, da, da, and see how fast you can do that. I can't do it that fast without making squeaky noises. Okay, and our target words are please and don't. Maybe not the hardest words, but they can be tricky to pronounce, right? Especially lots of native Japanese speakers may have a hard time with the short P and this L. Please, 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 please. So we're going to be thinking of it as a sharp, like, sound that's one motion as we speak. And don't. Notice don't has both D and T. D and T. Don't. Okay. All right. So some people may know about drums, some may not. But the most recognized sound on a drum set is the bass and snare. Right? So, oh, it already came out. So this P sound right here is going to represent our bass. Okay? So what do you mean bass and snare? And we have three sounds. How does that work? All right. So one, our D sound is on our snare. Right? But our T sound is also on our snare. Right? So my mouth is doing similar work using the same instrument, a similar instrument, but makes little difference in where it hits, how it stresses, right? So this is similar to using this instrument, the same instrument in a different way. Right? So let's see what these sounds actually sound like and compare them to our phonic sounds. Bass drum, bass drum. Okay? Right? Our this will be the side hit of the snare. It's not in the middle, it's in the side. Notice how it's different. Side. Okay? Right? And then here's our T sound. Compare these two. Okay, one more time. We're going to hear those last two, and you tell me which one is which. Which one was that? Some people think it's the side or the main. The side. I'm sorry. The side is the more quiet one, and then the main is the middle. The more of a snap. Yeah, I think it was that one. Right. So that was definitely the snare. That was definitely the main snare. So when you hear one, it may not be easy to tell, but when we can make a comparison, it becomes much more obvious. All right. So what is the rhythm we're going to do? Let me tell you about it more. All right. So this is a clave rhythm. It actually means key, like it's a key in a lock. It fits in very neatly. So this is what a clave instrument looks like. It's just a little piece of wood that people hit. It comes from Africa, but it's really popular in Latin music. Became popular in jazz and a lot of pop music. Okay, this it's probably a part of your life and you don't even know it, right? So this is what the music actually looks like. Don't worry about reading what this actually is. It's just to help you out. I just want you to know that there's long sounds and short sounds and rest. Rest is time with no sound, okay? Right? So we're long, short, long, 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 okay? Long, short, long, long, long. All right? Here's an example which you can click on and listen to at home, but I think we're going to get plenty of practice right now. All right, so what is our first rhythm? We're going to use the p sound, right? Let's just do it first and then expand. So let's get our clave ready. And so I'll do it one time and then you do it one time. So, all right, you guys ready to come in? All right, so now on the last word, on the last sound, we add a word. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4 word. 1, 2, 3, 4 word. Ready? So, and the word we'll use is please, right? So we want to get please out clearly and sharply in one sound. Please, 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 please. Okay. So we can use any word that starts with P. Um, One thing to be careful of, though, when you combine P with other letters, like pra or pla, right? I would suggest practicing those independently by themselves if you're having trouble with the net sound, right? But this is just the first sound of the P, doing it very sharply and clearly. All right, so what's our other one? Our our duh, our little side hit on the snare, a side snare, right? And so we do a lot like this. Right? So a little sharper, not as sharp as the snare. Still has a little bit of bass in it because it's the side hit. Okay? So this time on the last note, the fifth note, we're going to say don't. 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 All right, you guys ready without me? All right, now we're going to go around and everybody's going to say a different word that starts with D. If you want to be simple, you could use dog or don't. If you want to get more interesting, You could try. Wow, geez, I can't think of anything. Domicile or uh, damp or drink. All right, you guys ready? We're gonna do a round. Okay, was that everybody? This time I'll give you more time to think about your words. So this one we're gonna do T. So think about what words start with T. If T has a word that follows that, has a letter that follows that, think about what is challenging. Don't be afraid to mispronounce. This is just where we kind of figure out what is difficult to us so we can fix it through repetition. Right? So of course in our T, T, talk, turtle. Okay? Let's go around the room. All right, everybody's doing a good job. I know it's hard to think of stuff on the spot. All right. So here's my little challenge. Right? So we all have sounds that we might want to work on or need to work on. What is challenging for you? Okay? We have all the phonic sounds. I would suggest with my improvisation challenge that you don't just use one sound with this rhythm. Okay? So we don't just say one sound, we communicate. We have several sounds, right? And sometimes certain sounds together are hard to do together or they're not clear. Okay. So we're going to work especially on this. And this will be our homework. I'm really interested in seeing what kind of ideas you guys come up with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be alternating between sounds. So it's probably much easier to go from different sounds like your P and your D or your T, like alternating one or the other. And in fact, a lot of especially rock music is mostly bass and snare. Right? So okay. So and when you do this, look at yourself in the mirror and try to be very expressive about how you actually do that. When we actually talk, it'll be much less, much more minimal, but we want our brain to pick up on what makes this enunciation happen, this pronunciation happen. Ready? Okay, so I'll just give you an example, right? So easiest one is bass snare, P and T. Okay, right? P and T. Ah, I messed up. All right, and then maybe this time P and T, next time P and D. Okay, and now okay, you could spend the whole day trying to think of different ways to combine these sounds. You could alternate, you could double one up. Change the rhythm if you want. But let's stick to this rhythm just for this homework. Just so we could all be doing the same thing. Okay? So I want you to think of your own interesting combination that we'll say tomorrow in class and write down a couple other phonics songs that would be good for you to work on in the future. All right. So here's a little review. Here's the sound we did, PDT, and we talked about the concept of your mouth as a drum set. Each tooth, each position of your tongue, each breath you take, and movement of your mouth. Think of that as your instrument preparing to make this music that comes out. That is communication, right? And we talked about please don't. Um, so we're going to get a lot of listening practice with please and don't with the next exercise. Um, so that's why I kind of wanted to make sure I uh, restated these words because I think we all know them, but I think we could probably pronounce them better and be quicker to recognize the correct pronunciation. All right, it was fun making music with you. I'm really excited to know what kind of things you guys think up for your homework. You could be creative as you want or as simple as you want. I just want you guys to get a lot of practice. Okay, really excited to hear what you do.